It's the start of a new week. It's the start of the first full week. And I'm not exactly sure how I need to apportion out my time here, but apart from a couple of paperwork things I still have to take care of, we've got the war on dust. And this room, although it may not look like it's probably the worst in my house, is probably the worst in my house, because this is where the dogs reside. So both puppies are restricted to the kitchen in this office, partially because of James's asthma, which oddly enough has not been really bothered by this influx of dust, which is good, but still it's better to keep it cleaned up. Anyhow, this was my office. This was the room that got smashed. I no longer have a desk in here. I just have this folding table. And everything needs dusting. The bookshelves behind me need dusting. Well, I don't know if you can see this or not, or if I should show it to you. But I give you an example. Something was here. Let's see if I can get the darn thing to respond. There we go. Yeah, something was here. So, yeah, dust needs to be taken care of. But above and beyond that, this is built in to the house, and it's terrible. And I've just used it for years to put stuff in that's junk. I mean, here's every Apple product box I've ever bought is in here somewhere. Of course, I like to keep those for if I resell them, but I'm pretty sure I've resold some of these and kept the boxes for no apparent reason. So need to go through that. My vinyl collection is up there. Videotape collections, most of which I probably have replaced. CDs, all digitized. Just junk. Stuff that doesn't fit anywhere else. These are terrible shelves to begin with. Like this one doesn't have any shelves at all. Just a big empty space. And also, since I got the place, no doors. So of course all this stuff's covered in dust. But if we go up here, you can see that this and this one over here, the hinges are much higher. There were doors on these at one point, and now there aren't. I don't think there were doors. There may not have been a door on this one. Oh, no, there's a hinge. Huh. I was thinking one of these didn't appear to have a door on it. Maybe it's this central one. And this top one did. Anyway. Not necessarily this week, because I don't know how I'd get the wood. And I'll have to see if I can find the tools I need. I have a router. I have saws. I should be able to make simple doors to go on here. And then, do I want to paint them this ugly white? Or do I want to sand this off? And yeah, but then there's these, let me show you the drawers down here. Right, these are built-in drawers as well, and they're not very good. I might be able to take them out and fix them. But they just ride on, they're really nasty. But I don't relish trying to sand those off and refinishing them like wood. But if I could do something and turn these into useful shelves, first off, get rid of the junk, turn them into closed off shelves, then I'd have some space to put things that I don't currently, I'm struggling to find places to put away. And then down below, even further, this is even more junk, with tons of stuff I can throw out in here. These would have been sliding panels. I should be able to make those as well and do something with it. Right now, the stuff I try to keep, let's see if you can see it here, is in tubs to keep the dust out. And I could do more of that, but I'd like to make it back to something better, something nicer. I'm also a bit annoyed with the Arizona State retirement system, and I'll tell you why without giving you specifics. Your retirement is calculated based on your salary over a fixed period of time. It's a sort of a mathematical formula. They use 36 months, your highest 36 months or your last 36 months, which in most people's case is the same. In my case, it's the same. I haven't had a raise in 36 months, so my salary is no shock, right? It's a certain amount. It's exactly the same amount. The only thing the state does, which is weird, is that they calculate the year to be like by pay period. So 1 year is longer than the next. So every other year your salary goes up slightly, it goes down slightly to accommodate that half pay period that falls at the gap of the year. And but I mean it's a trivial amount, but my income has not changed. It's just that little minor fluctuation. And you can go to the state retirement website and you can say, they've got your hire date, they've got your years of service, they've got your age and your birth date and your employment records, and they've got your salary, which is probably a month out of date, maybe 2, but certainly not 36 months out of date. And you can punch in the numbers and it says, here is your estimated retirement annuity benefit. It's a fucking computer. It should be right. Now, I understand there are people who buy service. They've been in the military. They're allowed to purchase extra years of service by turning over cash to the retirement system. Or you might have had some sort of emergency thing where under certain circumstances you can pull some money out of retirement. But by and large, if you have no weirdities, and I have no weirdities, this is a simple mathematical calculation, and yet they're extremely, oh my God, don't trust this. Oh, come in and sit down with us and have a long talk, and we'll give you a proper estimate on how much it's going to be, and which just makes no sense at all, because they're just going to use the same damn computer system and then just go over, what's the thing. So I didn't go in for that session, knowing full well that they're all over the place. It's just not possible that they're that far off. It's not possible. Somebody would sue them out of existence if they were that bad, they were that incompetent. If not suit in law court, then suit in the court of public opinion, because how can you be that incompetent with simple numbers? I get it if you've got complicated numbers. I get it. I do not have complicated numbers. Anyhow, practical upstart of this is that I'm not too worried about the dollar figure. I know what it's going to be within, a minor variance. I got the preliminary retirement letter from them on the weekend, and it says, congratulations on your retirement. It takes us 3 months to figure out your final amount. So if it takes them 3 months to get that straightened out, then how is it they expect me to go sit down in their offices and have them get me a correct estimate amount too? None of it makes any sense in the long run. But practical point is that they sent me a letter and they said, here's a quick estimate, and we're going to be sending that to you for the next 3 months. And, once the end of the period is over, then we'll adjust it and we'll either give you the money that we didn't give you, or we will require that you pay back any excess that we accidentally paid you. But the amount of money that they have estimated for this 3 months is 12 to 15% less than the estimate from their estimator on the calculator. That's a lot. That's a lot. 12 to 15% is a lot of money in that case, you know. So that one was a little bit of a gut punch. I'm pretty sure they lowball it so that they don't have to try to collect money from somebody, because, you know, they'll collect it out of your payment. So if they've been overpaying somebody, then they're going to get getting used to this amount, and then suddenly 3-4 months down the line, they're going to kick them with a lowball payment. They're going to starve and die. So at the moment, I'm not freaking out, but it was a shock. It was a shock this weekend on that. And that is wholly way too long to be talking this morning. Oh, look at that. It's the master tapes for Fusion Patrol. Well, that means I have been in this box recently. Huh. Well, there you go. Well, within the last 5 years. It's an absolutely gorgeous day out again. And I've encountered one of those first retirement moments. I stopped in at Wendy's for lunch because I was out picking up some pool supplies. More on that later. And I hit Wendy's, and there was this line of old men. I mean, 10, 12, in their 60s, 70s, gray hair, just waiting to buy food. And they all bought the $1 double stack sandwich because it's some sort of promotional deal going on at Wendy's right now. Normally it's a, I don't know, $3 or $4 sandwich, but they're selling them for $1. And so all of the retired people were in line buying their $1 hamburgers, which should probably have told me something. I had the chicken. Anyway, the reason I'm out is I've been over at Lowe's, which is just down the street from here, picking up pool chemicals, because the problem with beautiful weather is that it's causing the algae to start forming up in the pool again. And I've got to do something about the pump, or actually the filter, which unfortunately has a crack in it and it can't handle pressure. So if you start using the vacuum on it, it starts sieving out water, which, you know, I might just have to deal with that as a consequence to get it clean. Anyway, I've done the math. The pool is 35 by 25 by 18 foot, approximately. It's got round edges, it's triangular. 4 foot at the shallow end, 10 foot at the deep end. Ran that through some pool calculators, 11,300 some gallons of water. To kill an algal bloom, you need 30 parts per million of liquid chlorine unstabilized into the water, and that equates to roughly 1 gallon for every 1,000 gallons of water. So I need 11 gallons of chlorine to go into that pool today, which is what I'm going to do. And that's what I had to pick up. Hopefully we'll clear that up, and I guess we'll run the cleaner and see if we can get it to clean up the gunk and then hold the pool stable before it gets much warmer. So that's it. Haven't gotten anything done on the room today. Have been working on Camp Quest stuff. I did when I was in the Lowe's, which is over there, geographically speaking, from where I currently am. We did, I looked at various kinds of wood, because ultimately I think I told you I'm going to try to put doors on those cabinets to, keep the dirt out of them and to make them a little more presentable for the future. I'm just going to have to go do some research and find out if I can use plywood for that, or whether I'm going to have to go to chunks of pine, which I probably won't be able to get at a place like Lowe's, because I'm going to need to route the edges so that they'll be rounded. Yeah, not sure how that's going to work. Anyway, that's it. I feel like I'm getting bogged down. Monday I made good progress on cleaning in my office. Tuesday I got bogged down with Camp Quest stuff, and I just had to do some stuff on the computer. Mostly updating the website, working on the application forms, doing some books, things like that. Got it all done, but off my main focus of fixing up my office. I got back to cleaning this morning and got into some tubs, and the first thing I hit were photo albums. Photo albums from 1989, pre-digital. And as a lark, I grabbed Google's photo scan app for iOS, and I ripped through a couple of albums. That part's not so bad, but then once you get into the photos, then you start trying to figure out where they are and what the dates were, and cleaning them up a little bit and cropping them here, and then basically your day's shot. And I've got at least another 10 albums to go. So I'm going to have to put that on a timer and say no more for now and get on with the other stuff, which is a trip to the hardware store to buy a halogen bulb. Hate these things, and I've got one light left that I'm stuck with. But that's it. Let there be light! Yeah, okay, that worked. Put a new light bulb in, and the light works again. Wow. DIY stuff is complicated, huh? From the when to learn to buy used department. Bicycles for kids growing up. Always buy used. This bicycle here, I was reminded on Facebook that we bought this for James's birthday 6 years ago, which means when he was 7. And, it fit him for maybe a year. It is the bike he learned to ride on. And we had to, move on to a bigger bike. But we bought an expensive one. Not thousands of dollars or anything like that, but a few $100s. It's a good, solid bike. It's a Trek. It was, I don't know. I was in that fit of, everyone should have a good bike. I'm like, yeah, that was a bad plan on my part. And it's been sitting out on my back porch, out of the rain and stuff, and out of the direct sun. But it's been out there for, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, maybe not quite that long. It was probably inside for a long time. And the photo of it popped up on Facebook. Remember 6 years ago, blah, blah, blah. So it reminded me. So I just posted out, said, anybody got a kid that old needs a bike? And I got to take her. I don't want any money for it. I mean, sure, it'd be nice if they'd pay me, but, for crying out loud. This is a completely sunk cost. We tried selling it at a yard sale once or twice, and it didn't fly even for $50, which it's worth way more than $50. But bikes don't resell well, even good ones. So I'm just going to see if I can't clean it up a little bit and oil the chain down and see if we can't push this out the door. Yeah, that chain could definitely use some oil, but everything looks good, and haha, although I don't know if I have enough of it, I definitely have the oil for it. Yeah, which doesn't look bad. It certainly needs a complete and thorough cleanup, but if I'm giving it away to somebody to give to their kid, that is definitely dad quality time, cleaning up your new kid's bike. Well, your kid's new bike. Probably not a new kid. They probably had it for a while. That'd be my guess.